Welcome to a special edition of Stay a While, recorded live on Radio Row at Super Bowl 59. I'm your host, Tommy Vincent, and we are going to be hearing some dynamic conversations with phenomenal guests here on Radio Row. So take a seat, get comfortable, and stay a while. This episode is sponsored by the House of Joy. Hi, everyone. This is Tommy Vincent, your host of Stay a While podcast, and today joining me, we have Mea Boykins. Mea is a global entrepreneur and speaker, and she's about to move to Nigeria. So we're going to talk about that too. So let's get into it, Mea. How are you today?
Hi, Tommy. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So you are a global entrepreneur.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So I became global. As you know, I studied at Spelman College, and Spelman is all about getting women internationally. Ever since I went there, I graduated in 2011. So I did a study abroad in Paris. I literally fell in love with being in Europe, and I ended up doing a lot of education abroad. In fact, I've attended 8 universities globally.
Wow.
And I'm finishing my 4th degree, a PhD in governance and public policy right now.
Give me some,
Thank
girl.
you.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I've lived in France, England, Spain, Taiwan, Jamaica, and US. And as you said, planning to move to Nigeria. So I'm a woman of business, a global entrepreneur and speaker. I'm at the intersection of government, entertainment, and business through my business. So I became global simply by just, being global. I leveraged the relationships that I built while attending university in all these countries, and I just continued to build relationships and develop clients. And yes, now I'm a global entrepreneur.
Let me ask you this. Did Spelman open the world up to you, or was that part of your aspiration before you attended Spelman?
Honestly and truly, it was Spelman. Out of all the institutions that I've attended globally, some of the world's best, Spelman prepared me the most for the world. It made me appreciate who I was as a Black woman. It made me understand who I was as a Black woman. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, our motto is a choice to change the world. And we really stand on global education and global experience. So it wasn't until I was pushed and motivated to go to Paris that I actually that passion woke up within me.
Mm-hmm. We just did a project in New Orleans at a school, and the theme for it was the road to success. And one of the things that the principal at this school shared with us, and this is pre-K through 8th grade students, one of the things she shared is that the students in this particular area in Garyville, that they don't get beyond that community because it's just their parents, the parents, that's not something where they see the world this way. They see their world really in a tunnel. And so part of our objective there was to create this space where they could see there is a road to success as you continue to matriculate through your education. Then the world is going to open up to them and they're on this road to success.
Yes.
For you, I know that you're about to make this transition to Nigeria.
Yes.
How did you take all of your learnings and redeposit that back into the community that you came from so that other people like yourself recognize that the world is full of possibilities and it is open to them if they're willing to pursue it?
Yes, that's a great question. As someone who is a motivator, one of my favorite things to do is to go back to the school systems. Like, I've spoken all over the world in maybe about 15 countries at this point, some huge speaking engagements. I even spoke at King's College London graduation, thousands of people. But my favorite talks are those intimate classroom settings. So I like to go to classrooms for K through 12 students and share my testimony, share where I come from. Because while I'm a global entrepreneur, I didn't have that vision necessarily growing up. One thing that I used to do when I was a kid was read the encyclopedia. And I used to watch Mary-Kate and Ashley. They had a show where they would travel the world. And that's where I was like, wow, this looks cool. I want to go to Peru. And I was learning about the world. So I love to go back and just let them know, hey, even if you don't have family that have done this path, you can do it. My mom, she hasn't traveled that much. Most of my family haven't really left America.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them haven't even left the states where they're
Mm-hmm.
from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I had that, someone in my family that was motivating me or saying, you should do this. It's something that I learned on my own. And I love to let other people know, like, hey, you can do this too. Even if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the family background, if you don't have the education, if you continue to work towards something, you can do it as well.
Mm-hmm. What gives you the courage to go to other countries you've never been in? They may speak a different language, and you're showing up as your Mia self. How do you have the confidence to put yourself in those environments and then find success and accelerate there?
I think for me, the confidence comes from God. I don't question myself. I feel, there's definitely been many points in my development where I face like imposter syndrome, thinking like, okay, I can't do this. I shouldn't be in this room. But I've grown to the point where now I feel, that Godfidence, where it's like any room that I step in, it doesn't matter who's in that room. It could be a president, a diplomat, a royal. It could be just an ordinary citizen. I am fine. And I think for me, I connect with people on a human level. So a lot of people love talking about my career and who I am and what I do and where I've been. But for me, I like to just get down to the simple, humanity of who are you? Like, what's the vibe? You know what I mean? Yeah. So when I meet people, I don't really engage with them on that, like, what do you do level. It's just like, I don't even tell people when I travel who I am or what do I do. I like people to treat me however you feel like treating me, whoever you think I am, then you do that. And I'm going to let you lead with that. So yeah, my confidence definitely comes from God for sure.
Okay. I love, you said Godfidence.
Yes.
I love that. That is I'm going to use that. Okay.
Period.
Now, how did you decide what is leading you to Nigeria?
The crazy thing is, so I wanted to move to Africa. I knew it.
Okay.
Because I was living in Jamaica. That's where I'm finishing my PhD in governance and public policy. So I've been in Jamaica for like 4 years. So 4 years of summer, 4 years of like good, fresh food, fresh water, clean air. And then coming back to the US, I was like totally bummed. And I was like, wow, this climate right now is a bit stressful. Like, it's really not for me. So I went to Ghana last year. I don't know if you heard of Dirty December.
No.
Oh, it's wild. It's actually like a good time. So it's like nonstop parties for the whole month of December across Ghana, South Africa, and Nigeria.
Okay.
It originated in Nigeria though.
Okay.
So I was there like turning up, having the time of my life. The people were so nice, so welcoming, good food. I was like, wow, I want to move here. But then I went to Nigeria. So I spoke at a conference in the most random place. It was in Akure, Ondo State, a state that even Nigerians don't go to. So there was a huge conference called the Global Entrepreneur Festival. And I spoke at that conference along with like Jeff Hoffman, the founder of Booking.com, Priceline.com, and some phenomenal speakers from all over the globe. In that moment, I was able to connect with leaders across government and business. And I said, you know what, I think I'm going to give Lagos a chance because I also love it as well. I love the energy and the vibe. And for me, I get bored really easily.
Okay.
So I have to travel and I have to be challenged. I like to learn and I like to be uncomfortable. So
why?
Because when you're uncomfortable, that's the only time you grow. You know?
Say that. That is accurate. I love it.
It's like if you're just doing the same thing over and over, you're definitely going to get bored. It's monotonous. Like, how are you actually growing from that? So, putting myself in these uncomfortable positions, it just shows that, okay, I'm not going to come in. I'm not going to leave the same that I came in. It's no way around it. And for me, I'm really good. Like the side of my brain that connects with languages, it's really good. So I speak French, I speak Patois, I'm learning Pidgin, I speak English, I'm learning sign language and Yoruba right now.
Wow.
But I speak some random bits of like Turkish, Chinese.
So you're like a little genius.
I mean, geniuses, they're different. Geniuses are smart, but they also, that scale, it's that spectrum of like high and low. So I have some social anxiety that comes along with the genius.
Okay. Well, listen, I speak English and tongues.
Hallelujah! Now, see, that's all you need right there. When you speak the tongue, you speak all them languages. I'm jealous.
Oh gosh, I love it. You are an inspiration.
Thank you so much.
I just think it takes so much courage to be willing to go and just explore the world, to go places that, especially if that is not something you were exposed to, and to just be willing to get on a flight, go to a place, not know anybody, land there and say, no, I'm good.
Yes.
I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to find success here, and I am going to leave my fingerprint in the earth. You're not just like here doing your thing. You are spreading your genius around the world, and I love that for you.
Thank you so much.
When you're talking, you said that you do, you're a speaker, you're a motivator. Do you have a topic for you that is this, like if you were to sit in a space of speaking, that this is your topic that you talk about?
It depends. So I am very intimate with the youth.
Okay.
I'm not as intimate with like adults, so if I'm at a business conference or a conference with like adult women, yeah, sure, I have my taglines for motivation to motivate them, but I won't go as intricate or as deep into my story. I find that communicating with youth, for me, it's a better situation because they actually are inspired. They're motivated by your journey, and they're not coming from a judgmental space. Sometimes adults can look into your story or your background and they might try to judge you or, just basically judge you for it. And I don't mind being judged, but I would rather impart those parts of my story and my process with youth that are still forming and developing, because it'll really help them to understand who they are now. So I connect with them from, various hardships that I've experienced throughout my life, throughout my childhood. Now, when I'm speaking with adults, I'll share like the hardships that I had in business, some of the pitfalls and the mistakes that I've learned as a global entrepreneur, as a Black woman, as a young Black leader, working with people that are 30, 20, 30, 40 years older than me, as a Black woman working in male-dominated spaces. So I definitely share some insight on those areas. So it just depends.
Mea, what would you say? You just alluded to you've had some experiences in life. What is one of those experiences that you've had and without a shadow of a doubt, you would not be the woman you are today if you did not have that experience to cultivate you and to instill something inside of you that affords you the opportunity to be who you are?
Who I am is definitely rooted in my community and where I'm from.
Yeah.
Throughout my life, I've lived in multiple, as they say, the hood. Growing up, the thing about it is when I was growing up, I was living with my mom, who was a single mom at the time. My mom and dad divorced. So there was many different layers to it, growing up with a single parent and also growing up in the hood. The difference between today and, growing up kind of in poverty is when I was growing up, I'm a millennial. So when I was growing up, we didn't realize like how poor we were because everybody was the same. We didn't have all this TV, social media, Instagram, all these things showing us people all over the world with all their fancy things. So when I was growing up, I was playing hopscotch. I was doing block parties. We were literally outside being invented. So that kind of made me who I am. People don't understand that. They look at me as I am today. And this is why I never lead with who I am. I always just lead with, as I said, the vibes, my energy, because people look at me and they're like, oh, this girl, this lady, whatever they want to call
however
me.
they perceive you.
She has it all together. She's so proper. She's so stush. And it's like, yeah, I am proper and I am educated, but I also come from the hood. So I'm very balanced and very versatile. So I'm actually really proud of where I'm from and some of those hardships. As I said, having, divorced parents, growing up, with some, in poverty. Again, I didn't realize it in the time, but I'm glad that I had that experience because now I'm balanced, I'm humble. Also, my parents struggle with different things. My mother struggled with alcoholism, for example. That leads to a lot of crazy experiences. So growing up, I had a lot of thick skin. I couldn't be embarrassed. I was experiencing some things in the home that at this point now, if like you try to bully me, I'm like Kanye West. I mean, you will be hard pressed trying to make me feel bad or like embarrassed or something, because it's like I've seen it all. I've heard it all.
Yes.
So now I'm just like super tough. I'm super grounded. Like, as I said, people look at me, they're like, oh, this girl, she's like dainty and cutesy. And it's like, yeah, I'm cutesy and very demure. But at the same time, like, you know, I try to keep it cute.
But don't get it twisted.
Exactly. Like, I had to tell someone the other day on the internet, like, I'm a professional, but I'm professional at reading people as well. Like, don't try it.
Before I let you go, can you speak to young people who are really trying to navigate life? They may be having some experiences. However, speak to them in the space of the world being available to them, and that there are a plethora of opportunities for them if they're willing to just allow themselves to experience life in the fullest.
Yes. I would say for the youth.
And talk to the camera so they
Yes.
hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
Amazing. For the youth, I would say the world truly is your oyster. Don't look at where you are today, and also don't ever feel like a victim. Don't feel like you are what you've experienced. You aren't what you've experienced, but you are who you create yourself to be. You are who you work for yourself to be. It doesn't matter if you don't have the funds. There's the World Wide Web. Connect with people all around the world. My philosophy is, you know, there's always a yes in the universe. So you might get a million no's, but guess what? All you need is one yes. Another one of my philosophies of being successful in business, I've actually received a lot of rejection. I've been turned down from job opportunities, turned down from so much. But as I said, there's always a yes in the universe, and there is over 195 countries. I'm a global entrepreneur because I had to be a global entrepreneur, because sometimes people try to block me and limit me, and they're going to try to do that in your journey. But what I have to say for you is it is a huge world. If you can get one client or one partner in every country, and I assure you, you can, thanks to the internet, systems like Upwork and other things, then you can do it. Don't limit yourself. The sky is the limit. Look out for opportunities, for scholarships. Look out for partners. And don't be afraid to reach out to people who are either on your level or higher than your level globally. Just be transparent about who you are and do the work, and you can do it.
Okay, now, Mea, you done gave them some food for thought, and you presented them with some resources. You just said a whole lot in that. So thank you so much. And I want you to know that I am rooting for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited about your journey to Nigeria and what this new season of life is going to offer you. And I truly wish you the best. I want you to know that my table is always open to you, and you are welcome to come and stay a while anytime.
Thank you so much.
I hope you felt the love and connection in today's conversation. Every woman you heard from has faced the impossible and emerged stronger. This is your personal invitation to stay a while longer at TommyV.com. That's TOMMIV.com for more inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. And let's not forget your belly. You're always welcome at my table. Please be sure to subscribe, make yourself at home, and stay a while.